Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Rival Fantasies show, the Friendly Fire show with Nate and Justin. Um, uh, so tonight we're gonna mainly be talking about the fantasy bets or the wait a minute, what is it called? The sports book
Fancy book.
fantasy book. They call it fantasy book. So Rival calls it fantasy book, and that's why I keep getting mixed up. But the fantasy book is where you place over and under bets on the players. Unfortunately, they do not have that for preseason NFL. So we've already kind of gone over a little bit already at one point this offseason, but I did hit on one of these, and it was a 5-player parlay that I hit on. It was only $1 bet, so I only won 10. So imagine if I would have placed 10 down and won 100, it would have been a lot more worth my while, and I'd be a lot more happy right now. But it was still a win, so we're going to talk about it. Nate, how's it going tonight, buddy?
Oh, it's going good. I get to go back to work Monday after being off for like 2 months for surgery. So I'm excited, and football was kind of fun last weekend. And, we get to do it all over again.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Are you light duty?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, they're going to throw you right back in the fire.
Oh, yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah. I'm
All right.
ready. Feeling good.
Have you recorded the Packers show yet?
Just got done.
Lambeau Leap. So that's going to be dropping tomorrow at noon, right?
Yep. Yeah. Because it's Wednesday now. So, yeah, usually we record Tuesdays, but had a little mishap. And yes, record. So it'll be tomorrow at noon drops. We're talking about last week's game and our expectations and excitement for this week's Patriots game on Saturday.
Excellent. And this is dropping at like 9 a.m. So that means that after this show, about a few hours later, come back on, check out Lambeau Leap, and they'll be talking about the Packers preseason game. So sounds great. So Jalen Reed and Jordan Love still good for the thumbnail.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. So we're going to get into this. Guys, don't forget that this show is brought to you by joinrival.com/title tribe. That's joinrival.com/title tribe. They're going to match your first deposit of up to $200 and then also give you an additional $25 just for using that code. So that's a total of $425 for a $200 deposit. So joinrival.com/title tribe. All right, let's get into it here. We've got my bets from I believe it was last week, maybe a couple weeks ago. I did this bet right here. We had talked about how Uncle Steve had a system where he would bet the over on all pitchers and the under on all other players. But after talking to Nate while we were going through, somebody that actually knows a little bit about baseball, we thought maybe we would change it up a bit because I kept losing on that, even though Steve kept winning. So this is a $1 bet. I won 10 because I had only one pitcher. I did bet the over on him. That was Sonny Gray, and he went way over. He doubled his projection. Then I hit the under on Kyle Schwarber and Mookie Betts. So that part, Uncle Steve was right, like going under on anybody that's not a pitcher. But when you have De La Cruz and Freddie Freeman, Nate was telling me you probably don't want to go the under on those guys. So I hit the over, and they hit. So thank you, Nate.
Hey, got something right.
So that's kind of what it would look like if you would just pretend like these are football players and they're over and under where their fantasy point projections, right? So,
Yep.
so still pretty cool. You bet $1, you win 10. You bet $10, you'd win 100. You bet $100, you'd win 1,000, right? So the more players up to 5, the more you can win. So you can't bet more than 5. You can't bet less than 2. If the player had not played at all, they would just take that player out, and now it's a 4-player parlay, and I would have won $8 instead of 10. Because in this case, Kyle Schwarber did actually play. He just didn't play very much, and he got 0 points. But since he played, it still counts. So worked for me. All right. Nate, do you have any successes from last week where we played the fantasy bingo cards?
No, it was tough. I think you and I covered it earlier. It's fun because it's still bingo and it's $1, but the guys don't play enough, and it's hard to tell who's going to play. I didn't know Sean Clifford was going to throw the ball 30 times or 26 times.
Yeah.
That would have been something. So I think if we should stay away from bingo till we get in the regular season. And no big wins, nothing really. So
Yeah, and we're still happy we did it because it shows the viewers how to play, and
yes,
we get ready
exactly.
for the NFL season and that stuff. But if you
Heck yeah.
look at my card here, this gives you an idea. Every time one of your items hit, they highlighted in that pretty teal blue color that Rival has for their logo. And if you have enough teal in a row, then you get bingo, right? So there's different payouts for different avenues. And Uncle Steve actually hit on four corners in baseball. So that or not four corners, four in a corner for baseball. So that is still a payout for baseball. It might be for football now too. The video we showed last week could have been updated, but regardless, Uncle Steve did hit on one of the corners for baseball. But just like Nate said, like a running back that had greater than one fumble. Well, my running backs were Justice Hill and say that one again, Nate.
Kine Wongwu.
Yeah, you do a lot better with that one than I do. Neither one of them really played long enough to really be out there long enough to really get anything more than one fumble. If you're in a preseason game and you play 4 series and you fumble the ball twice, you're getting cut. So
Yeah, you ain't playing next week.
right. So we're going to avoid the bingo cards for the rest of the preseason, but it's still crazy fun. And I can tell where this is going to be our go-to game during the end season.
Right.
But the fantasy book. So let's go ahead and place some more fantasy book bets this week. So as I scroll through here, if I want to go pitcher, then I kind of want to go with, and actually, you know what? Freddie Freeman did me good last time, and I bet the over on him. So I'll do that again.
I was getting ready to make one earlier, but my computer doesn't show my location like my phone does, so I'll just do it later. But I think I was gonna do Nolan Arenado, Freddie Freeman, and Julio Rodriguez, but just for the heck of it. But
Okay, I can do
yeah,
that if
because
that's
I can pull those ones up. Like I said, it's weird because I've placed bets on my computer before, but today it doesn't want to let me do it. So I don't know. My computer's maybe it's just that.
so. I
But
got Arenado and I've got Freeman. Who was the other one?
Julio Rodriguez.
All right. Now, were you going to go over or under on Rodriguez?
I was going over on all of them. Shooting for the
Oh,
stars.
all right. I like it. I like it. I don't have any bonus money left, and I don't have any of my voucher money, so I'm placing actual dollars here. So if I bet $1, I could win 5, but if I bet $5, I could win 25. If I bet $100, nope. Max bet is $10. Okay. If I bet $10, I could win 50. So how confident are you here, Nate?
Oh, like $1 or two. I mean, it's baseball, and it's just really hard for me to like tell you I'm confident.
Hey,
If it
look at
was
that.
football, I'd feel better.
We can do 50-cent bets too.
I
Dollar
thought,
fifty
oh
would win.
really?
Yeah, $1.50 would win 750. $1.80 would make my balance an equal 200, which is what I started with, and I could win 9. So I think I'll go with that. We'll
I
go with
like it.
$1.80.
That was going to be my bet because I had $1.80 on mine too from one that I won, and I was going to take it down.
All right. Well, it's something went
See,
wrong. Oh,
that's
no.
what it did to me too. So I don't know if maybe it's the $1.80 bet was weird.
All right.
No, even with $1 won't let me do it. So maybe it's something on the site's acting up right now. I don't know. Let me see if I can send a challenge here.
Okay.
Try to and see if
That's
it'll
odd.
work.
Wow, somebody put $40 down on George Kirby over Chris Sale.
I don't even know who George Kirby is.
I'm not sure who either of them are.
I know who Chris Sale is. Oh, George Kirby's the Seattle starting pitcher. Chris Sale used to be really good.
Then somebody else put Lance Lynn 45 over George Kirby. Jeez, we got some big ballers betting for and against George Kirby.
Yeah, they do.
And again, with challenges, I could accept MJ Melendez here, and that would accept the $20 bet here, and whichever one scores most in fantasy points wins the bet. And the dates say August 17th, so that's tomorrow. So the bet should be going through. But oh well, yeah, you guys got the basic idea for the fantasy books, though. I mean, that's really all we wanted to show for tonight. I mean, it's going to be a short show anyway, but um, yeah, I mean, kind of sucks that we can't really show you the official full on bet. I'll send a message to our guy Neil over at Rival and see what he wants to do here. But yeah,
I sent you a big challenge for Monday night's game against the Washington football team and the Baltimore
cool.
Ravens.
So
He
it was
did let me do that.
okay.
So I don't know that maybe it's just something with I don't know. It's weird, but you don't have to accept. I don't even know if Anthony Brown's going to play quarterback for the Ravens. I guess that was kind of mean for me to take Sam Howell. I just there were two I saw there real quick, so I was like, I'll just click on it and say whatever. I was really just seeing if it would work. Go to the far right, the little green. There you go.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then for you, there you go. That was basically just see if it was working, if it was something funny with maybe it's MLB or whatever. But if you don't want to take it, you don't have to. But
So Anthony Brown is a quarterback.
yeah, I think he's like he'd be the guy that's going to play the most. He should be their third stringer, and he'd be behind Tyler Huntley. It'd go. I think
Sure.
I'll look at the depth chart before I tell you to do it because I don't want to make you. I don't want to just
Oh no, you're good. I'll take that. I'm not really sure how much Sam Howell's even going to play anyway.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. I'll give it to him. He looked decent. I'm excited to watch him play. I always loved him in college. I just didn't know what it would amount to.
Yeah. Well, I think we're about to find out.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. That's all we got now.
All right. Again, like I said, I knew it was going to be a short show off the top. Next week and the following week might be just as short, but once the football season starts rolling, then we should have more bets to place and we'll be looking good. But hey, at least we got one challenge in. That's always going to be a good go-to then.
Heck yeah.
All right, man. Do you got anything else?
Hey, Anthony Brown's the fourth string quarterback. Sorry, behind Josh Johnson, so he should play.
Yeah. I would hope so. I hope they're not going to roll the starters out very much. It's just that he looked like a running back.
It's like a running back. That big shoulder pads.
Yeah, number 30. I mean, I don't know. That dude is a running back, and they just really want a fourth quarterback to have for preseason. They're just like, hey, we'll let you make the team if you pretend to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of bets we make in the preseason, guys.
Yeah, that's what it's all about,
Hey, give Doobie or Dubby or whatever it's called a plug real quick.
Yeah, W Energy, W.gg is their website. Check them out. Sorry, I just kind of lost my train of thought for a second. Type in our code Title Tribe, all capital letters. When you do get it, they have a sample pack that is great, 4 flavors, and you get a shaker with it. So, it's nice energy without the jitters. Kind of get you focused in on things. I'm excited to take it to work next week and see how that goes. It's been a while since I've been at work, so I'll take all the help I can getting back into the swing of things.
You'll definitely need it Monday, won't you?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, it's going to take probably at least 4 hours to get my computers going again because I'm all locked out. So I'm going to be sitting there with the help desk forever, getting my passwords and all that because it's just locked. I don't even know my stuff. I have to send my computer in to get worked on because it hasn't been turned on in 2 months.
Well, also don't forget patreon.com/toilets the titles. We have a lot going on with the Patreon, especially right now that Frankenstank is going. Oh yeah, what do you got?
Speaking of Frankenstank, how's your draft?
Well, I did my draft live.
You did yours. I forgot.
Yeah. Well, I was supposed to be in another division and just commission that one, but then one of the guys wasn't able to make it because he was at the poker tournament and ended up doing pretty well in it. So he didn't even make it to the draft until it was over. So I was drafting his team for him. So we just went ahead and swapped positions, and I am now in a different division. But yeah, so my Frankenstank team is completely locked in. Let me pull up my team real quick. So I ended up. So because I was drafting for someone else, I had like a mental list and I had a few players in mind, but I didn't bring my actual official list. because I didn't really know that I was going to have to draft for somebody. So I did make one big key mistake in the third round. I completely forgot about tight ends and didn't take Travis Kelce with I think it was like the fourth pick. And
Travis Kelce went first, like at the 301 in my league today.
As he should have. But instead, I went with Austin Eckler there instead. So I still got a solid running back at least. And then I followed that up with TJ Hawkinson as my tight end a little bit later. So
you'll never guess who I took in the third round.
Who's that?
Nick Chubb.
Oh, yeah. I did notice that, actually. I saw that. My wife is actually in the same division as you, and she won.
Yeah. I forgot. I looked at that and I was like, oh shoot, I forget who's in there sometimes. So yeah.
She wanted me to ask you what you thought of her draft so far. Actually,
I'm gonna have to look now because I haven't really. To be honest, all I've been paying attention to is the draft I'm commissioning because somebody took Christian McCaffrey at 112. So now I'm like have to watch really close to make sure. It was a mistake because I think he's set to auto draft and it was only one pick, so it really.
And for those of you that don't know, Christian McCaffrey cannot be taken until the third round in the Frankenstank. But so
she has. Oh, she took the blob. See, I wanted to take something in the first round too, and I didn't. I'm kind of regretting it. I like that pick, and then I like the Jordan Addison pick. I just saw she had. I'm scrolling through and I just keep missing it. So
you went with Breece Hall, you actually went with Breece Hall at the 108 after the Dalvin Cook news broke. So I was kind of curious on that, but at the same time, I do believe that Breece Hall still has standalone value. So remember, in the first and second round, for those of you that don't know, that's rookies and second-year players only, or monster cards, which can be pretty powerful. So I noticed that you still went with Dalvin Cook. So I was kind of thinking maybe Jahmyr Gibbs has leaped over Breece Hall with the Dalvin Cook news there, or monster cards. There's still there were still a couple powerful monster cards there. I don't know. What were you thinking?
I like Breece Hall too much. I think he's too good to not be on the field. I know Dalvin Cook's great, but I don't, even with them splitting the workload a little bit, I still think it's going to be fine. I don't have a lot of faith in Jahmyr Gibbs yet, just because I know he's going to be great and the Lions are going to be good. But just like last year, is Dave Montgomery going to get all those touches that Jamal will? And nobody's going to have. Well, maybe they'll have 17 touchdowns. I don't know, but that doesn't seem like something that's going to happen again. But I'm curious if the offense is going to run the same way. And I know Jamal Williams wasn't just all goal line touchdowns, but I think they're going to share the workload too. And, I trust Breece Hall more. I think the Jets are a better team. And I think that Hackett will have Hall and Cook on the field together more than Gibbs and Montgomery. Because Gibbs and Montgomery is a hard complement on the field together, in my opinion. But I think you can have Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. They can both catch the rock very, very well. I think that's something that, those guys on the field with Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard, that's tough to guard.
Yeah.
That's a big mismatch. So, I probably should have taken a monster card instead, but I see Breece Hall and I'm licking my chops. Like I saw it last year and I'm too excited to not have it.
Well, if you didn't take him there, he definitely wasn't coming back 9 picks later. So, you got to get your guy, right? We say it all the time in fantasy football. You got to get your guy, and that's why you went Nick Chubb recently. You were the last one to pick in your division at the 305. You went Nick Chubb, and Lori preset her draft, and she picks 3 picks after you. Well, 3 picks after you, and she told me she didn't even have Nick Chubb on her short list for the pre-draft selection. But you're a Nick Chubb guy. You got to get your guy.
And I was taking a running back regardless. It was him or Eckler. I don't like Kellen Moore. I don't trust Kellen Moore. I think the Chargers are going to be under 500 this year. I think Eckler will probably be good, but I'm sorry. Nick Chubb's who I want. And now that Kareem Hunt's gone, that's even more helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, so Lori's blob because she wanted to talk about her team a little bit. So she had the blob with the 5th overall pick, and that's the card where you can steal a player, win or lose. And when you steal that player, they are now yours on your team, and you don't have to give anybody back. She cannot play it in the first 2 weeks of the season unless she loses in those first 2 weeks. So it's a pretty powerful card.
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably the 103 in monster cards, and she got it as the 3rd monster card. So I think it's pretty good value there.
Definitely. Yeah, there was a couple I looked at, and I'm, of course I talked to you about it. I was reading through them and I'm like, yeah. And I think when I was looking, what I wanted, and then I saw Brees Hall and I was like, nope, can't do it. Got to take Brees Hall. So there's a couple of good ones, but it's so hard to know when to draft them. And I thought about doing it in the second round, but I wanted to get Bryce Young's going to start. He looked like crap Saturday with Frank. Has Frank Wright have a job? He let I don't want to swear. He let the crap get beat out of Bryce Young. Like, run the football, dude. Right. I said it just a little bit ago in the Packers show, like, hand the ball off or something. You're just letting him get the heck beat out of him back there.
Right.
He
doesn't like to run the football. I don't understand.
Know.
And everybody talks about how much they ran the football in Indianapolis. But they were like, I don't know, they ran the ball the 8th most amount of times when they had Carson Wentz at quarterback and Jonathan Taylor at running back. So if Carson Wentz is your quarterback, then that should be the most amount of times running the football. Like, you should hardly ever throw the football when you have Jonathan Taylor as a running back. And if you continually look back on his history, Frank Wright's history, even as an offensive coordinator, they never run the ball nearly as much as they should. He actually enjoys throwing the football, and it's not going to bode well for a rookie quarterback.
Well, it's like the offensive line for the Panthers played a lot better last year than they did this first game. I know it's preseason, it's first game, so whatever. I mean, they ran for 300 some yards against the Lions last year in that game. Like, they can move the ball, they can run the ball, and they can block. So I'm okay. I mean, Sean Clifford, I guess, is who I should have drafted. He's the best looking rookie quarterback so far. Him and that dude from Purdue. I just keep forgetting his dang name. The kid that's going to take over when Garoppolo gets hurt in week 6. But, those two guys look the best for rookie quarterbacks so far. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm confident in Bryce Young. I'm happy with him. So.
And then Lori went with
Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison.
That's who I almost drafted instead of.
And then listen to this though. Like, not even 2 hours later, I get the update that he's in the concussion protocol. And I told Lori, and she was like, "I just took him." She was all upset, and I said, "Well, welcome to fantasy football."
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it does suck though, being a concussion, being that position, a wide receiver, being a rookie, starting off his season already as a rookie with a concussion history in the NFL. Like, I mean, just ask Tua. That's not fun. Now you're worried about a lot more with your future than just this season, So
it was either
I'm on the
Addison
shelf.
or Smith and Jigba were the guys I was looking at and took Bryce Young instead. But
yeah. I'm looking up something right now. Yeah, it was Aiden O'Connell. That's who you were thinking of.
Thank you. I drew a blank in the Packers show too. I talked to somebody about him like this afternoon, and I keep forgetting it. Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah, I couldn't think of it either, but we got there. All right, so on my team, I ended up with the Jelly Blob as well. I drafted at the 108, and it was still there. And like I said, I have the Jelly Blob as the 103 in monster cards and the 105 overall. The only players I would take ahead of Jelly Blob would be Bijan and Garrett Wilson. So I was thrilled to get the Jelly Blob at 8. I ended up with Dak Prescott and Derek Carr as my starters, with a little Desmond Ridder to throw in there just in case. So I like my quarterbacks because I got them super late, and I think there's potential there to get some serious points.
Yep.
My running backs are they looked better before Zeke signed to the Patriots. I have Austin Eckler, Ramondre Stevenson, and J.K. Dobbins as the starters. But I did also pick up Zeke later in the draft, so he's the one that went to the the Patriots. So at least if he does steal anything, then it's going to be from my Ramondre Stevenson. Just kind of sucks. We don't know exactly what that offense is going to look like. I think it's still going to be primarily Ramondre, but
Yes.
Zeke's going to get that goal line touches, and the more touchdowns you score in a game, the higher those touchdowns are worth in Frankenstank. So it's like, kind of stinks there, but hopefully it's mostly Ramondre in week 1, enough for me to get a win and get another good running back. I also have Kendre Miller on my bench just in case, but he'll probably be one of the first to go. My starters are Drake London, at wide receiver, Drake London, Mike Evans, and Brandon Ayuk, with Odell Beckham Jr. and Rashad Bateman as my 2 backups. So
Nice.
I double dipped on that just because it's Frankenstank. So rosters change a lot in Frankenstank. There's forced trades, there's cards that can steal players, there's all kinds of different stuff that's going to change rosters. So I figured if I started with both of them, even though I think it's going to be Zay Flowers, but he went way earlier in the draft. If I started with both of these guys, one of them are bound to hit. And if they do, then that's the guy I keep. The other one's my sacrifice. And then I'm thrilled with the tight end position, even though I should have taken Kelsey had I remembered he was there, to end up with TJ Hawkinson and Juwan Johnson, who finished as the 10th best tight end last season when he didn't have a quarterback. Now he's got Derek Carr, and that's a stack for me because I've got Derek Carr. I'm happy to have Juwan Johnson as my tight end 2, who's actually projected to outscore TJ Hawkinson in week 1. So that's kind of weird.
It's tough. Like the draft process it's so hard in your head to say, like, this is what I can take this round, and you pull it up like I'm on MFL, and I'm like, okay. It's like, can't take him, I can take him. And like you said, you forgot Kelsey's there, and you're like, oh God, like, you know what I mean? Like it's so, and you've been doing it for a couple of years now, but it's still like it's just so different, so much fun. It's awesome. It's a blast.
Yeah, and then 12 of my 15 players don't even have a bye week until week 9 on, which is also pretty huge for Frankenstank because, like I said earlier, as you win, you steal players from your opponent. So ideally, after week 4 and 5, you start winning, you're going to start stealing some good players that might have already had their bye weeks, and then you don't miss a bye week that way too. If everything goes well, but my plans in Frankenstank never go as planned.
My plans in fantasy football never go as planned.
All right, and then we're going to wrap it up because I thought we were going to end like 12 minutes ago, but Frankenstank's always fun to talk about. But don't forget that the final time right here at the bottom, joinrival.com/title tribe. Help us out.
Come try and take our money.
Exactly. Yeah. Send us those challenges, because as you can see, I accept just about any challenge for the right dollar amount.
Any reasonable challenge will not be denied.
Right. And, yep. All right. You guys have a great evening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.